Alright, so in this one we are going to be reacting to Goresh's ranking the top 10 best characters in the game, October 2025 edition. I have seen very minimal of this. I know it's a few days out, but I figured there's nothing else to do today besides we're waiting all for Puddle stuff, so why do old unit trash showcase when I can react to this and see how it changes? Because I assume Puddle, getting his Zenkai, him on his plat being a god that he was, initial release, he was underrated as hell, but people actually understood his value over like a little bit of time. If Puddle Zenkai were not amazing, and I used him before Zenkai 2 hours yesterday on stream, which I'll be live here tonight again, like 9:30, 10 p.m. Eastern, as data mines are starting to drop. But he was so good on those, he has to be great on Zenkai. Like, I know, cooler, he looked mess upable, but then he's more 13 reliant. Puddle is not that. It's a support unit. These are much more difficult. LFsa, even as an example, who is the only other support LF Zenkai, was a demon god on his Zenkai. So that's our baseline to go off. We have that coming up. With that, let us begin this and see, well, what is Goresh cooking?
Hey guys, so today we're going to jump into the October 2025 version of my top 10 best characters in Dragon Ball Legends video. Probably going to do another one of these before Legends Fest starts, but that will probably be the beginning of November. So this probably will be the only one I do in October, because we should be getting one more premium release before Legends Fest begins.
Agreed.
Before we get into the rankings,
I just want to say, I think we're getting another LF. Mind you, either one or two things can happen. The first LF, or one of the LFs in Festival Part 1, is going to be a yellow, since it has been 6 months since Kid Goku has dropped, which that is the last LF yellow. Or we get an LF next week, Tank Top Trunks, yellow LF Tank Top Trunks, Tank Top Trunks! I don't know what's wrong with me. And that happens. Not sure which one. I'm more leaning toward Tank Top Trunks, but this campaign only does last till 29th, so it could just be nothing next week. We shall see. And it could just be another campaign before Annie Festival really begins.
All characters considered at 14 stars, best teams, best equips, everything maxed out on their best setups. Number 2, I like to view this top 10 ranking as a top 10 best characters in the current meta.
Right, let's get into this here, shall we? I understand the requirements and prerequisites.
Number 10 on the list is going to be Ultra Perfect Cell. I think this...
Yeah, this is the one I've heard the most about, and this is the one I'm mostly curious about. Yeah, and I'll name it off a billion times over. The 8 through 10s for a lot of these lists, it just kind of goes to the notion of whoever you want. I mean, there's options. I could say Blue UI is here. He probably won't. I could say Kefla could be here. He probably isn't here. Or maybe she is, but she's higher. USV is an option. There's always options. Cell, I mean, it's not the worst thing I've heard. I've heard Metal Cooler make top 10 list over Cell. I'm just like, I'm still preferring Cell, even though Metal Cooler is, Metal Cooler of his extra lives. I'd still prefer Squishy Cell. So this isn't wild. I'm just curious, like, why over some others?
Has had a pretty big increase in value recently for 2 reasons. Number 1, Android 13 has allowed this guy to do a lot more damage.
Just where do you run him? Gamma's 13 Cell? It's so squishy, that team.
Is a very important,
Gamma's get rusty,
valuable mechanic, especially when you're going up against characters like Full Power Freeze and things like that.
Can't stop
that. The anti-endurance permanent ability just is very powerful. And then the other ability that he has that actually is very strong,
Frieza, Vegeta
against Ultra Fusion Zamasu.
It's kind of funny. The thing is that his endurance level is better now because CMZ, but also isn't as better as you think, because you're not even fighting, UV4 Frieza as often as you just did. You're much more fighting the MZ, CMZ, 13. I'm fighting Namek Goku as the most used Ultra that's not UCMZ right now. I don't know how that's the case, but that's my cue. Maybe his is different, possibly, but I'm definitely not fighting UV4 and Frieza as much as I'm fighting Namek Goku, and obviously CMZ the most of all of them. So Cell does gain value. He's going to mention the other part of it here, but that endurance null value, it actually doesn't really, like, on paper it sounds like it's going to be crazy, but in usage, you're just not fighting those guys as often. Which makes sense.
I can get this pulled up here. On the Solar Kamehameha, inflicts all enemies with no special cover changing for 15 timer counts, which means that Ultra Fusion Zamasu does not have the ability to remove that debuff from himself when he uses
so they swap into UCMZ.
So this cell theoretically can actually remove.
That'll murder. Well, it could murder. It will pop. It'll lane.
Fusion Zamasu's gauge, the ultimate / Rising Rush counter gauge when Fusion Zamasu's on standby. You can't swap in and counter this because this is not counter. This is not. You can't remove this debuff.
Yes.
So that's really powerful. I think most people tend to run Fusion Zamasu with Android 13, in which case you throw Android 13 in and have him meet this, and then he just has his first life proc, and then from that point moving forward, you got rid of Android 13's first life and
Would that proc his first life? I mean, because CMZ still cancels the buff effect, so meaning that neutral would get canceled from Cell. Is that not how that works? So I don't know if 13 would get procs from that. And frankly, I mean, listen, I'm not trying to downplay Ultra Cell. I know he can do damage, but like, am I going to sit here and say MZ, who is clearly the tankiest unit in the game, the bulkiest unit in the game, the most sustained unit in the game, can't just eat Ultra Cell's ult? I mean, there's got to be like a lot of times he just eats that shit up, right? Even with Cup Pen stacks, there's got to be times MZ can just soak that bitch up and just heal up. Green card, 50% proc. There's got to be. So this ultimate, while it is valuable, the ult itself, I don't think is valuable. I think it's the premise of you can actually use it is the value more so than the actual card damage it does.
Fusion Zamasu's buff removal charge. So moving forward from there, you can just kind of rush at any point.
That's also the value. Yes, exactly. The
Cell's
card
in a really
itself.
good spot right now. Obviously, the one thing with this character is defensively, he is very, very fragile. But on the other side of that,
Yeah.
I don't think there are really any super threatening blue characters in terms of offense. 13 is a very powerful character. We'll be talking more about.
Surely we're going to mention
through the list, but
we're not gonna
13
mention
is not really a character you're super concerned about offensively. He's
not
more
even
there
not
as
even
a
talk
utility
about him?
character, support, second life mechanic,
Not even blue?
disrupt style character, not really pummeling you into a pulp as a blue unit. There really aren't any like super mega threatening blue characters right now, so Cell really benefits from that.
Bro, why are we ignoring blue UI? Oh, bro, blue UI has saved me so many times when I run him. You run. I'm speaking on him here just because I don't think he's gonna be on this list. Because if Cell's above him, holy shit, I don't know. Yeah, blue UI is definitely above Cell for me. He could even be like top 8 for me, blue UI. Because again, 9-10 is just such a fucking nothing factor right now. Blue UI. Fun fact about Red MZ: he has defense neutral after he takes a hit. Right. So you do, let's say blue UI enters, catch him on a sidestep. We could just smoke that Red MZ. Just beat the shit out of him. So if we could smoke a Red MZ with blue UI with like a blue card, especially post main, because that's 100% or 50%, 100%, a lot more damage. What do you think Ultra Cell is going to take from blue UI? Like, I know he's not some broken thing, but in comparison to like a Bomb Coup, which arguable top 10 still, I'm definitely taking a blue UI over a Bomb Coup any day of the week. So no strong blue. I mean, if again, I'm not running into Frieza, you're running CMZ, I'm running CMZ, I don't really give a shit about Frieza anymore. It's just not really a problem to me. Blue UI is becoming more of a problem to me than Frieza is becoming a problem. It has been a problem in like the now. I'm just saying, it is a little bit of sleeping on Blue UI because he definitely is like, he's definitely there, bro. Like, I promise you, he's there.
I mean, I just think this character has a very good spot in this meta right now. So I'm going to put Ultra Cell at number 10. Let's move on to number 9 next. All right, number 9 is going to be Zenkai LF GT Universal.
Speaking of Bomb Coup, yeah, again, I mean, I'll hear his points. Again, the lower tiers, I don't really care. Again, I would just have Blue UI over these two, just any day of the week. I had USV making it over these two, and I would still probably keep that. I mean, you could... It's such a weird spot, because you could argue whoever the fuck you want, really. Like, there is definite arguments. You know, USV has a better team than Cell, because it's more fulfilled with CMZ and 13, or, you know, with whoever you want at that point. Red MZ, like, that's a more fulfilled team than Cell has, right? But then you look at the individuality, Cell's probably doing more in a match than USV, totality-wise. But the team-wise, USV's is better. What do you care for more? See, you could debate both points of who makes it or not. But Blue UI definitely has a better team than Cell and USV. If I could change anything, I would just make Blue UI on my top 10, like, finite. But he's definitely over Bomb Coup, bro. Like, I probably know what's going to be said here. He's going to be like, he's going to tank against the MZ team, and, like, he's not wrong. It's just, I mean, fuck. That's it. Like, that is that really a valid thing to a 9 slot? I don't know.
I think this guy is still a pretty effective defense type character on that pure GT setup. next to purple Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta.
God, where's he gonna be?
There's a lot of strong reds right now, particularly obviously the red LF Fusion Zamasu and Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. You still occasionally see Kaioken Goku as well. And then you
Bro mentioned Kaioken before Cooler. He actually hates Zenkai Cooler so much.
A super good character
The
against
agenda must end.
At least when Ultra Cell's not type neutral, this guy can do a pretty good job walling him off.
The agenda must end.
But this guy, yeah, is still a very, very powerful character to have on GT. I think he works well with the other GT characters. I guess, you know, damage-wise, he doesn't really do crazy damage, but once you have his gauge filled up, and let's say you have an opponent who's defeated, you have the lock-in snipe available with this guy. If the opponent only has one available character left, you can, of course, use the Vanish removal. But I guess, yeah, you could also talk about the fact that when you have an enemy who's defeated, you can use this guy's lock-in to kind of get rid of Fusion Zamasu.
I'll mention a pause about this guy that you won't hear often. It is a Solar Flare. 13 is not immune, CMZ is not immune, and MZ is not immune. So if you Solar Flare like an MZ, like you just got good timing, PV, and whatever you did, just got good timing on it. And even if you see it, you do it on an MZ, or CMZ rather, you can rush him. He can't stop you from the rush when he literally can't, like, he can't stop the rush there. He could rush a CMZ off a Solar Flare landing. So I'll give that props there to him. That's about the furthest my props go personally, but you know, it's there.
Use that on like a different character. Use the ult on a different character that's still alive. I don't really think there's much that I need to talk about with this character. I think we all know how this guy works at this point. It's just like a really good defensive character for GT, and him being blue, I think, adds a lot of extra value on top. Him
being blue is more valuable.
Number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Coming in at number 8, we have the LF tag.
Wow. Really, they're low. 8. Actually, they weren't that much. Well, they were like 6 for me, weren't they? 6 or 7. Oh god. But they were there for me. Okay. 8. I mean, I know Zenkai Cooler's not on this because he just talked about fucking Kaioken instead. I know Kaioken's bum ass ain't here. That fraud. 8. This feels obscenely low. But if they're pairing with Cell, I mean, yeah, disadvantage to Red MZ. They have some defense neutral in their kit. The thing is, Androids isn't really ideal in the tanking department, to be fair. So I guess like their value's not high tier, but they're definitely the best answer to CMZ right now. Maybe Puddle will be post his Zenkai, but they're definitely the best answer to CMZ as like a unit basis.
Gamma 1 and 2 character, obviously very powerful post unique equipment. I guess post second unique equipment.
Yeah.
Work really well with Android 13. They have the support for the team. They're very bulky. They have good disrupt. They have the really crazy healing with the infinite swapping, or I guess infinite tagging, and plus they also heal whenever they get hit. And then 13 is healing them on top of that. Really good Dragon Ball destruction ability on this character as well. And their cover null condition now is much better. They can get cover null entry. They get cover null when they fall below a certain amount of key. They get cover null when they tag. So there's a lot of ways.
So why are they low?
Cover null constantly. And just pummel the opponents with just infinite combos. Something else to mention that I will mention with another character on the list later on is this character gets cover null entry from their equip, which means you can freely rush with this character and kind of get
CMZ's not already in.
Corrupted Fusion Zamasu's buff removal and not to worry about the gauge activating. The only problem with that is this character is very susceptible to the red Fusion Zamasu. More often than not, you're going to be running the Ultra Corrupted Fusion Zamasu with the red LF Fusion Zamasu. So if you decide to rush against that team with this character, the opponent most likely will just swap into the red Fusion Zamasu, and he will slurp up this character's Rising Rush for free. He will not
whoa. We could play that play 1% smarter. Hold on, let me just backtrack that. We just tag switch into neutral, and then we rush. You take some hits, you swap out, you come back in, you enter off a blast card, you tag switch, you rush. Hey, that don't sound too complex to me. Just, we gain that neutral, right? We make sure where we kill on the rush. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to affirm the kill. Okay? Take some hits. Let them get their build up. That you want them to take hits so they get their tag switch, because that's the most vital thing to them for the core breaker. And it builds that up for later in the game. Tag switch in. You go from 13, you land a card. Boom, you go from 13, tag switch, rush. You're neutral. You're vibey. That's all I'm saying. You could do that. I know it's not fully, set in 100%, but that is, you're trying to optimize a rush against the red. You got to play for the optimal rush, right? And it's not the most difficult thing. Let's be serious.
Just rush. So that is something to keep in mind with this unit. So you really got to keep the sub counts in mind when you decide to do that with this unit. But I think they're still effective character.
So,
I think when
personally.
you look at
I've
this
used
character
them
now
enough.
compared to where they were one PvP season ago, things have changed, I think, a bit drastically for this character. I don't want to go as far as say they're almost a completely different unit as they are as they were last season. But last season they were in feature boost. Now they're not. Last season they didn't have to worry about red fusions of Masu, which now they do. So
yeah.
you know,
They have an
change.
issue, but they're fine.
I think they're a lot worse off now than they were last season, but I still think they are good enough with their equip to be placed at number 8 on the list. So let's move on to number 7 next, but the Gammas, I am pretty confident, are good enough to be here. All right, LFGT Super Saiyan 3 Goku is going to be...
7? You make it to 7? Bro's a Zenkai... Well, he hates Zenkai Cooler, so I guess I can't say it. Bro's a Zenkai Cooler victim, though. I mean, really, I've 3-carded this guy so many more times than I can fucking count. Man, I remember seeing this list the day it dropped, and I was like, oh, whatever. Like, I looked at it for, like, a solid 30 seconds, and, you know, I forget because I'm an idiot from over time to now, so I don't remember it fully, but, like, I was like, okay. I remember just being like, okay, whatever. It's just a whatever list, you know, nothing crazy here, I think. I'm pretty sure. Now I'm reacting to this, and I feel like there's a lot of changes I would make. Okay. This guy above the Gammas is confusing to me. He's so squishy. Like, I'm pretty sure Goresh was the one who stated he had issues with this guy's key, and it's just like, just get his gauge filled, just charge that, right? That's how you get it. And because, you know, UE4 up card cost, Frieza did, maybe that's the reason he would go higher, because their card cost upping, well, or retain higher value, because the card cost upping is not as frugal anymore, I guess. But, like, even then, 7 for this guy? Yeah, name it, Goku goes down. I think he's playing for the color thing more than anything else here, but when this guy's still able to get, like, 3-card victimized by a MZ or CMC, I mean, I'm not going to be here sitting like, yeah, this is great. Like, UV4 on GT is just UV4 team. Like, yeah, GT3 can do damage, that's fine, but UV4 is the character. It's a 1v3 team for the most part of the game. You know, on Namek Saga, it was double ultra, so it's a 2v3 with, like, the little Majin Ku-esque Krillin that existed, and that was much more difficult to fight. With GT versus, like, a real comp to team, let's say GT even versus GT, it comes down to UV4 snipe. Let's say it's Future or PO versus GT. If they lose a character, GT, they heal a lot. They're meant to keep swapping and attrition and do that shit. If they lose a character, which this guy's very susceptible to dying fast, I mean, what do? You probably lose, right? Bomku can't just fucking maintain the entire game. He's gonna die to some bullshit, especially because he doesn't cancel blue card buff effects. So let's say you're fighting like a blue UI, strike, blue card, you're not going to your UV4, because he would die too, because no cancel buff effects from Bomku. Like, there's problems that exist. Again, here's another mention of blue UI being valuable, because that's a team. That's a team he would mention here. This guy's high up, bro, and I don't think he deserves it.
Number 7 on the list. I'll just preface
this
before we even start this. There is a pretty big separation, I think, between this character's spot number 7 and then number 6 all the way through number 1. But this guy, I think, is still a very effective character. Obviously, really works as well and to his utmost potential on GT next to Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, which is where he was intended to be ran. And then the third character, which we talked about already in the video, was the Spirit Bomb, Blue Spirit Bomb GT, the Universal Spirit Bomb Goku, the Zenkai one. But this guy's still good. Obviously, the big thing with this character that you can look at and kind of criticize heavily is his defense is not really that crazy. He doesn't have a second life mechanic. He doesn't really have the craziest disrupt. I think the key reduction is pretty effective, but he's not...
Even then, it's kind of funny. Final counter is like, you know, it was pretty strong when Tapion got it. I mean, Magenta had it. It was decent. I think Tapion's was most impactful of any that isn't, like, you know, an Ultra. But this guy's final counter, it's such a nothing factor because units heal so much, and it's not having those additional effects of CMZs. So his final counter is just such an air attack because, like, I swap out of character and then I heal somehow. Just it's like every character in the game does that. They swap out, they come back, they heal. So they swap out, they heal. Everyone does that. His final counter is such a nothing factor as well. It's just more of a negative to this guy.
You know, he's got card draw speed down, I guess, when he swaps out, but that's really just him being in combination with the other GT characters on the team. It's not him specifically, like, doing that when he's on the field. This is more of an offensive character. Obviously, the support is a big part of why this guy is so effective, I think, especially next to Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. And it's one of the reasons why I think Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta just feels like he does so much more damage on GT. It's really a lot of that.
Yeah, because he's double glazed. It's like running Android 13 with UV4. It's the same thing as running pure GT.
This guy
literally
allows
percentage.
Vegeta to more effectively and more consistently get his switch attack mechanic through more consistently. But overall, yeah, I like this guy still. The buff, or not the buff removal, the vanish removal on main plus Dragon Ball acquisition is still really powerful. The type neutral is still effective. Obviously, Namek Goku is still a very prevalent character all across the meta. And then, you know, most recently with this prior season, I don't really see them as often this season, but I still think they're a very, very strong character. The Gammas, this guy's type neutral can be very effective against them as well. So I really like this character. I think he's still really good.
Yeah, that guy.
Let's move on to number
Not
6.
a fan of him right now, man. Not a fan. I like his damage.
Are actually all pretty
6. I think this is the first agreeable spot I have. I think I have this guy exactly at 6. I think I had the Gamma 7. This guy 6. I was like very close to switching the 2, but I stayed like that. I think it was that, or it's between the 2. But yeah, no, I had this guy 6. So you know, I get it. I'm not gonna even dwindle on this. So he has him 6. I have him 6. Okay, we move on. If there's anything I could discuss, it'd be, usually different placements and different characters and what have you. So let's see number 5 here. Let's see if we're the same thing.
All right, coming in at number 5 is going to be Ultra Full.
Same thing. I have Frieza's 5 as well. Okay, both Namek Ultras. We both understand how they're feeling, at least to one another's thoughts. So again, we move on. Let's see number 4.
Coming in at number 4 is going to be Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Still a character that is very...
4? Wait, he was just gassing up GT. Wait, hold up. 4? Yo, that's kind of crazy, nah? 4? That's low. UV? Who the fuck is the top? Oh, the best team in the game is the top 3. I don't think it's that simple. I really don't. Huh. 4 is low, bro. Is it just because that trio? I don't think that trio is so overpowered that it just makes the top 3 the best 3. Like, the best trio in the game. I don't think that makes them just outright top 3 like that. I think that's kind of narrow-minded, isn't it? I mean, I'm trying to think about it. I mean, I could use UV4 and just stomp that team. It's not difficult. You switch attack Vegeta, even on 13, he's just going to beat the shit out of him. Switch attack Vegeta, you save a green card for Vegeta from an Android 13, you run alongside Vegeta. And then, because 13 can spawn green cards, he spawns one on main, or from his blue. And you save that, Vegeta's immune to card destruction, and every other bullshit, utility, swapping, whatever bullshit that would stop him from comboing, like MZ Gauge, spam blast off switch attack and green card. I mean, I feel like it's pretty simple to make him still like a top 3 unit minimum. 4? I need to listen up here.
Very powerful.
That's crazy.
The reason why I decided to put this guy one slot above Ultra Full Power Frieza is because Ultra Full Power Frieza has a direct negative
has a shittier color
versus the main character of the powerful opponent setup in Ultra Fusion Zamasu because he's purple. Whereas this guy doesn't really have like a huge threatening blue character that's like there and ready to kill this guy.
Even blue UI, I wouldn't even say is huge threat.
Again, point to 13. I think 13 is an exceptional blue character.
Yeah,
I mean,
13.
There's a reason I haven't.
If anyone ever like overestimate, like people will overestimate 13, be like, oh, his damage is fine, it's good enough, it's great. It's okay. It's a support unit. His damage is not meant to be great. You don't even see 13 Zenkai buffed on most teams because people don't care about his damage. They value his utility, his supports, his safety, all those other presences. It's more overvalued because it's more impactful in a match than, 13 did 3 strikes and it did, 70% versus 60%. Who gives a fuck? Fuck the Zenkai buff on him. 13's damage, it's not meant to be scary. I mean, maybe there's times, very niche, but most units, they ain't gonna give a fuck. Red MZ is tanking Android 13 like he's a bitch. Like, I know Red MZ is a raid boss, but still.
Put him on the list yet. I mean, he's coming up. Don't worry. So obviously he's very good, but his main role is not to come in and just like crush everything. Right? He's not an offensive powerhouse. So this Vegeta doesn't really have too much to worry about in terms of just getting flattened by a blue unit. There really aren't that many like overbearing blue characters right now in terms of offensively powerful.
So I would think he goes up as that.
So I think that interaction that this character has with the powerful opponent team versus the one that Frieza has, I think I'd give the slight edge to this character.
Slight.
And then just I think the GT
the fuck's Frieza doing versus it
allows this guy to look a little bit more impressive than the setups that Frieza has access to. Especially with Namek Goku being hurt a little bit more, I think. Because the team you'd run with Frieza is just the Frieza on the Frieza Saga team with like Krillin, Namek Goku, or you could run, a third Saiyan character on the team next to Namek Goku and Frieza. And then Namekoku getting hurt kind of more.
We don't
than
Frieza
these
on
other Ultra
Namek?
characters, I
Really?
think, from this update.
Wow, we
Hurts
are-
Frieza a little bit more than it hurts this Vegeta. So that's why I decided to
crazy,
separate
man.
the
Wow, that's an
Vegeta
interesting take.
a little bit higher on the list than Frieza. But
I mean,
again,
again,
it's
the
not that
coloring,
big of a
it
gap.
matters
I
to a
think you could
degree, and it
interchange if you
matters
wanted to.
mostly here.
But yeah, I think Vegeta's still in a good spot. 13 kind of hurts this guy a little bit on the defensive end, right? When Vegeta's using his switch attack, and you kind of have your gauge built up, and you're ready to go on like a huge combo, 13's disrupt can activate, and you just maybe you have a full hand of blasts, maybe you just don't draw a strike when you need it, and your combo could be over. It's happened many times. On the other side of that, though, you could definitely be in a situation
That
where
argument,
Vegeta-
I definitely feel that, but I also do want to say it is full RNG. I don't know if we're going to count, my good or bad RNG into dictating a spot. I mean, listen, most teams hold even cards, maybe one more blast and one more strike if you're really trying to force that shit, but it's intended where most teams hold 9-9 or whatever the fuck it is, 9-9, 10-10, whatever the fuck it is. I believe it's 19, so 9-10, 10-9, whatever the fuck. Most teams hold basically even. I don't know if the RNG factoring into this is that valid to put? Because you could also save a strike card for that setting. Like, we all know 13's going to enter during EV4 combo to probably try to stop it when he switch attacks. We all know that's going to be the play. So save a strike card or, something akin to that for that play. I do feel like that's pretty manageable. I never really see 13 fully stop me unless I'm switch attacking too early when I could easily just combo longer with the other character, switch attack later, and I did so many blast cards, I'm inevitably going to draw a strike. I do feel you can't control that. Though it is RNG, you can manage your RNG. You can manipulate it. Because if I just drew 5 blasts, most likely, even if the RNG is still fucked, I'll draw at least 1 strike after just doing 5 blasts, bro. There just gotta be something. Especially, again, if the team's even, and most teams are even hands, so.
able to actually overcome 13's disrupt, and he's one of the few characters in the game that can do that. Actually, again, like I said, with the Frieza and his segment, Frieza can do that too with the Death Beam. It just really depends on if you get lucky with the next draw or not, if it's a blast or a strike. And then obviously Vegeta for the next 2 cards is type neutral, which also really helps a lot as well. But yeah, I think Vegeta's still in a good spot. I don't think this update particularly crushed this guy or anything like that. He's still really good.
So why did he go
number
low?
4 on the list for a reason? But yeah, I think this is a good spot for Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta.
You didn't really explain why he went lower. I guess just because 13, but
okay. So
okay, that's fine. He didn't really explain why he went lower. He just really stated that 13 is existent, and I mean 13 was existent before CMZ. So why didn't Vegeta go lower then? I guess 13 got a better team, but if the only reason Vegeta's going lower is because 13 got a better team, is that valid to put a 4? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so, personally. All right, interesting. Number 3 here, Android 13. I could definitely see this. I think the CMZ, MZ, and 13 thing is all kind of up in the air. I'm not really, right now, after playing more, I could see someone putting LFMZ number 1. I could see someone putting CMZ number 1. And I could see someone putting Android 13 top 2. That's where I'm at, perception-wise. So, this guy being 3, again, I do want to say, I mean, Vegeta and 13 being even wouldn't be the worst thing to me, but I just feel there's a little bit of Vegeta downplay. I think he could just do a little bit more than... I called him an underdog, and I think this kind of exemplifies that. I think there's just a little bit of downplay in his potential and potency, even versus the best team in the game right now, which is these top 3. I just think there's a little bit of an undertone of downplay to it. I'm not disagreeing with this 13 take, but I am disagreeing with the notion that Vegeta, just because 13 is now on the best team in the game, Vegeta's got to go down to 4. I think that's just a bit over-putting. Again, obviously, I'm just giving my opinion. He's giving his opinion, but my opinion is that I think that's just a bit undertone of a perception to Vegeta. I don't know. I ran him. I didn't struggle with Vegeta. I feel as though his potential's still there. I don't think he got really impacted by this that greatly to drop so far, because he was number 1. 1 to 4 is a big fucking drop. It's not nothing. From 7 to 11. Okay, cool, whatever. I get it, you're the bottom tiers, but 1 to 4 is a huge fucking gap between where you were and where you are. I mean, Frieza went from, was he not 2? 2 to 5? That's a fucking jump, right? I don't know. I can agree with this 13 take. Again, if anything, I would just want 13 and Vegeta to be swappable instead of them being separate. Because, again, I do feel as though Vegeta can do some impressive things here. So let me see his number 2 here, which I would assume is, has to be one of the MZs. So let's find out which one.
Coming in at number 2 is going to be...
And I could definitely understand the premise of someone saying, so CMZ's number 1 here. Again, I could definitely understand the premise of someone saying that CMZ, which right here.
So number 1 is going to be Ultra Corrupted.
Okay. CMZ or LFMZ is number 1. LFMZ feels like a raid boss. The thing is with him, he's not even a toxic kit. You're definitely going to be annoyed by him because of what he is now. But kit-wise of LFMZ, he's an honest character. He destroys your cards after you pop his gauge. He gets Vanish back. He's sealing stuff. He's not doing anything bullshit in his kit. Like, he's just doing good damage. Motherfucker doesn't even have offense neutral, so he is lacking a pretty big thing that a lot of characters have. Vegeta has it, Namek Goku has it, Namek Frieza has it. CMZ has neutral. 13, does he have? I don't think he does, but he's a support unit, to be fair. Like, MZ's missing a big thing, but the inflation of MZ within these stats, because he has modernized mechanics, he has modernized kit details, and he's not like, a fucking relic. He's 9 months old, LFMZ. So any unit that plats within the same year of their release will be this top tier thing. We saw with God Goku. We see with MZ right now. It's just a matter of fact at this point. So if we get like a Daima 4-coup plat during, let's say, Daima's the Part 1 festival, we get Goma and then Mini whoever, Goku or Vegeta. I don't know. I'm just spitballing an idea. It's probably shit. That's not my prediction. It's just to a point. And then Daima 4-coup, the blue one, gets a plat. He would be top 3 probably in the game because we get the Daima buffs with him. Let's say Red Mini Super Saiyan Goku gets, a plat equip, or Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, or even, Dragon Ball Yellow Kid Goku, the 6-month-old yellow LF that we got, the latest one. Any of these fuckers would just be top 5 bare minimum with their plats. We see it. So it's always about the inflation. These units are all modernized to the same degree. Metal Cooler could get a plat, and he would be top 5 right now. I mean that with my whole heart. He would easily be top 5 Metal Cooler, especially now. Just run double purple. Metal Cooler with the plat, infinite lives. He'd be fucking god on the tanking because his stat inflation. It's the same thing. Red MZ did not even become better in his kit. His kit is still reliant on his gauges. It's just now his stats are so well off, you don't even notice the issues with his kit because you don't have to. You got easier cover roll, you have more stats so you tank better, and you're not rush victimized because you have your rush protection right here, best buddy. There's obviously ways around his, rush protection, which we've seen here, and there is some more. But it really is just about that inflation. Red MZ could easily be number 1 because if you want to go glaze that guy, you want to double Zenkai buff him because easy Zenkai buffers, triple, whatever you want to do, and you just let that guy ride and just take... He could take 40 cards and still be fine because how many green cards he'll get. CMZ makes a green card. Like, he'll be fine. If you want to put that raid boss number 1, you're there. You're free. No one's stopping you. CMZ, though, he's that middle ground. I mentioned it. Every best team in the game always has this premise of here's your middle guy, here's your support guy, and here's your god damage guy. Frieza, let's say Namek Saga when it was the best team, right? Frieza was your main damage guy because his infinite beams, infinite combos, it was just the main damage premise. Namek Goku is your middle ground with your safety and still good damage, but safety. That's what CMZ is. And then Krillin was your Android 13, was your Majin Ku, was your Red Pan, was your Puddle. Like, it was everything. All these things always culminate to be the best team in the game. So if you want to put this glue guy as the middle guy of the team as number 1 of CMZ, that's just like you're putting Namek Goku as number 1. If you want to put Frieza, aka LFMZ, as number 1, then you're putting Frieza as number 1. Like, that's how it goes. Or if you want to put 13 as number 1, then you're putting Majin Ku as number 1. You're putting Puddle number 1. You're putting Elefsa number 1. DBS Pan number 1. Most people would like to say Majin Ku peaked at number 2. Most people would like to say DBS Pan peaked at top 3. And that's kind of what it would flow with a support unit. But people would always be kind of contemplating that middle or the damage god. Who's number 1? It's never been a just finite answer. You could put either or. Namek Goku to Frieza. Some would say Namek. Some would say Frieza. Most would say Frieza. But some would say Namek. Blue Beast, Red Pan, and Puddle. Most people, well, let's say UGB instead of Blue Beast, Red Pan, Puddle. UGB, Blue Beast, Pan. A lot of people would still say Blue Beast, despite UGB, most likely, because by that mid to late game, he's definitely better than Blue Beast at that point, would be number 1. And that notion follows. A lot of people could even say Diamond Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Mini Goku, and whatever third. You could argue Ku to Diamond 4 Ku because he was that middle. While he was that support, he was also that middle because how much of his damage was great because of what Diamond did for itself. So you can argue whoever, LFMZ or CMZ. Some people would even say 13 to a degree. I ain't there, but hey, it's an argument that could be made. And I think him being up here, CMZ and LFMZ, shows how easy it is to do things. I mean, CMZ is definitely not free of toxicity. Faint chance. I've won games because of it so many times. I've lost games because of it so many times. The paralyzed thing, you definitely can work around as paralyzed. It's not as like crazy impactful as it sounds. Like when you read it, everyone's fucking paralyzed the whole game. It definitely will lose or win you matches, but like it's 10 counts, bro. Like you'll be okay after 10 counts. If you're like dominating a match and they paralyze for 10 count, okay. Like you might lose like a life of a character, like a 13 life, or get MZ very low, or CMZ get low. You most likely won't even lose a character if you're like dominating. But if it's close, that shit's crazy. So it's not crazy toxicity from CMZ, compared to like a Namek or a Frieza or even UV4. I would say CMZ out of all of them is somehow magically the least toxic. Though he is toxic, every Ultra is, he's the least toxic of them. So congrats on that. I think this list is interesting. Again, I always talk about those lower tiers because, again, they're always subject to change. Like next week or whenever the fuck the next list of you or I or anybody makes a list, those 8 through 10 is most likely not going to be the same characters as it is now. It's just always subject to change. There's not 8 to 10 characters that are in that top tier threshold. I mean, honestly, you look at this list, I'm scrolling back. I mean, if I'm being blunt, all that really matters is the top 4. Even contemplating the top 4, all that really matters is the top 3. Do you really need anyone outside of CMZ, 13, and MZ? Sure, Vegeta would be good against them. Sure, like a Blue UI or Namek Goku or Frieza could have their niches against these guys, but like, all that matters is the top 3. It's not where it used to be where like, well, this number 8 character, well, he's not ideal versus this team, but against the best team, he's very strong. That's not really there anymore. I mean, I guess Cooler was there, but Cooler isn't ideal right now because Namek Goku's less often, so he loses his value. But all that to say, pretty good list. I give this a solid 7 out of 10. Why not? The bottom tier is definitely, again, I didn't start agreeing until number 6, so we kind of went literally half the video without me agreeing, but I can definitely understand perspectives on the bottom tiers. I always try to in these, and yeah, I just wish Blue UI or Cooler, or both, got a little bit more respect. Mentioning Kaioken instead of Cooler as a red unit that's good is crazy to me, but hey, I don't think he likes Zenkai Cooler. I've heard, so it'd be like that. What do you guys think of my reaction to Goresh's top 10 list? I'll see you guys in the next one.